Hey everybody, it's James from Rattlesnake Defense, and today we're finally going to try one of these high points. Stay tuned. Alright everybody, today we're going to try one of the high point 10 millimeters. I've been putting this off for a minute, but I first have to tell you what I think of high point. I'm pretty sure everybody in the gun industry has made their own opinion. High point is a low denominator as far as that's concerned. They're not very well regarded amongst the gun circles or by me, so I'll admit it. I know there's a lot of people that has positive experience, and with even their carbines, I've had a couple positive experiences. But as a whole, the problem is this thing feels like a brick. All right, it's very, very heavy. These are cheap. They come in under $200, I think, for a 10 millimeter basic single stack 10 round magazines. It does have a threaded barrel, which is a nice touch. They've redesigned this thing a lot. The shape and the build is different. A little bit of stippling on the grip and some other stuff there. So I just want everybody to know out of the gate that I'm not a huge high point believer, but I'm not a hater. It's still infinitely better than nothing. If this is the only firearm you have and you need something, this is still infinitely better than a stick. So we're going to go into this with an open mind and see what we think without any prejudgments. Also, if you'd go throw me a like or a subscribe, of course the algorithm doesn't like gun channels, so that would help me out a lot. So I'm going to load up 5 rounds of 10 millimeter here. These are Blazer 180 grain full metal jackets, and we're going to see what we think. This is the first time I've shot this pistol, so this will be my very first thoughts. So we'll see what we think. It's clunky. Alright, so the trigger is potentially one of the worst triggers I've ever seen in a handgun. It is awful. I have to pull it hard enough that it actually hurts my finger a little bit when I'm trying to get the trigger to go. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's not going off. Decent amount of recoil, mostly muzzle flip. I'm going to say that's just because the barrel's set up so high. But I did hit the swingers a couple times. So, I mean, it's not inaccurate. If we can learn how to deal with, the sight picture is decent, but let's see if it's actually accurate. Let me put let's put a target out at 25, see what that does. Well, we had a failure to feed there in the middle. I'm sure you heard that. But the accuracy actually isn't terrible. I've seen a lot worse. Now, it took me a minute to get the hang of the trigger pull being the biggest factor to accuracy, I think, actually being maybe the trigger, not necessarily the barrel or the sights. So, if this is a different barrel and a different model, it might actually do pretty good. It seems like it shoots decent. But I am a little concerned about that failure to feed. So let's load up and we'll do some fast shooting at the plates. Stand by. No hang-ups, but again, with this awful trigger, it's very difficult to get on target with any kind of speed whatsoever, then squeeze the 15-pound thing before it goes off. Let's try some more. So let's talk about the gun a little bit more. Standard sights, they are left or right adjustable. I don't see anything for up and down. 10-round magazine, single stack. That's one complaint I've had about High Point for years, is it'd be nice if they would actually give you more than this little magazine for such a huge pistol. I feel like it should have more capacity than that. The grip actually isn't at all uncomfortable. The sight picture isn't bad. Now, if anybody's familiar with High Points, you know you don't have a slide release. You don't have a lot of the other amenities you get with standard pistols. The sights are pretty low, and the weight of the slide really makes this thing come back at you a little bit with a lot of muzzle flip. But my main gripe, having shot it and trying to keep an open mind, is that the trigger is awful, just terrible. And of course it's very, very heavy. That being said, I'm not aware of any other 10 millimeters in the market at this price range, so you guys out there could probably tell me a little bit more. Let me know if there's anything out there. But for now, let's keep doing a reliability check and see if we can get this thing to mess up a little bit more, because that has me concerned. That being said, I am not without fault. I was so focused on the trigger and the sights firing at the target that I may have limp wristed it. So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Slide is locked back. There's not one in the chamber. Did not feed one off the top. That is another failure to feed. That concerns me. So that's not good. I don't know what that could be. It's got some odd lips on the magazine. You know, I'm not gonna cherry pick. I'm not gonna nitpick the engineering of probably one of the cheapest 10 millimeters on the market. So it is what it is. I want to try rapid fire real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. I've seen better. I've seen a lot better. I've seen a couple worse, but I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. All right, so for everybody out there, this thing has some issues. They're pretty obvious. It's 10 millimeter, it's new, it's High Point. You can say what you want about High Point. They've been in business for a long time. A lot of other gun companies that came and went. High Point's still around. Their warranty's actually really good. We've had people, I had a guy drop a High Point out of a tree stand, and it broke in half, and High Point replaced it for him for free. So I'm not going to badmouth High Point as a company. Their products are cheap, and with very cheap products you get cheap products. This thing's actually considerably more accurate than I thought it would be. I got to give it that. It shoots a pretty good group, all things considered. If they'd put some kind of a normal trigger in this thing that wasn't whatever this is, it would be a lot better. I mean, the barrel, the fit and finish is 1,000 times better than the previous one. So, you know, you guys already know what you think. I'm not going to convince you one way or the other. This thing is what it is. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot better. It's clunky. It's hard to manage. But with the right amount of care, the thing actually shoots pretty straight, which is the thing that I'm the most surprised at. I know everybody tells me how inaccurate high points are, and believe me, I've seen it myself. I've been around for a minute. But this one actually shoots a lot better. So if, you know, they can work out a couple issues and maybe not make this out of a brick of cast iron, there's potential. You know, I'm trying to be optimistic, guys. Give me a break. That is all. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it, you guys.